Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 81 of Direwolf20's Let's Play Season 4. And this has taken a lot longer than I thought. Holy cow. Lots of clicking, lots of button pushing, but we're getting there. I managed to just, right at this moment, finish the blue laser build. So blue lasers we're done with, and now I'm going to start picking up where I left off and get going with some red lasers next, I think. And why not just place them in the back there? So what I've been doing basically is the following. Keeping my two items down here, and then just collecting as many red lenses as I can. Just like this. And then once I've got enough red lasers hanging out in my inventory, it's off to this direction. And we're going to just start placing them down like so. Drill in here, laser in the top. Drill in here, laser in the top. And up we go. And of course, we're not going to be doing this much longer on camera, but I just wanted you guys to see. It is taking a little bit of time to fill in all these lasers, but we're getting there. And I'll be back in a few once I'm ready. And look at that. Got my red wall done. Now it's on to the green wall, which is going to start right about here. Here. This line. Yes. Right down here. And go over 10. See how much fun this is? You guys are missing out. Maybe I should be recording this entire thing. That would be a lot more fun for you. No, probably not. And we're almost there. Cool. And like I said, I will be back. And because I could tell you guys really wanted to be here for this part of it, I decided to show you the last few green lasers getting placed in here. But first, I think I ran out of rubies. When you click and it doesn't work, it's because you ran out of rubies. Cool. Much better. Just the last row here, or column, depending on how you want to call it. And we should have one extra left over, because remember I brought one of each color as an extra just in case. Sweet. Look at that. Does that all look good or what? Yep, looks lined up to me. So we've got our greens, our reds, and our blues. Looks nice and fancy, doesn't it? Can put this stuff away. And now it's time to get to controlling this thing. And how are we going to control it? With red power control, of course. The only way to do it. So I'm going to need a lot of stuff. Just a lot of stuff. That's what I'm going to need, is a lot of stuff. I'm going to need a lot of, well, a lot of everything. I'm going to need some cabling. I'm going to need some bundled cables. I'm going to need some wires. I'm going to need some covers and all kinds of craziness. Well, let's get started heading off down here and seeing what we need. And as usual, I'm going to, use a little bit of equivalent exchange to help me get my items that I need, because like I said, lots. Let's get ourselves some red alloy ingots first. And for that, we're going to need a lot of copper and a lot of redstone. So I'm going to get the resources I need, and then I'll be back in a few. Alright, spent a little time sleeping through the night, and I want to go visit my farm over here. Looks like some endermen causing trouble as usual. Just saw one teleport away. There he is. What's up, guys? How's it going? I just came to visit. Enderman, how are you? Sneaking away. I like how cowardly they are in the daytime. They don't even want to try and come after me. Oh, he got away. Come here. Nice. Just let them know who's boss, guys. Alright, I wanted to come and get some wool. Now let me do a little quick math in my head and figure out how much I'm going to need of this stuff. If I'm right, I'm going to need 300 of each color. No, I'm going to need 300 total. And there's going to be 10 of each, so I need 30 of each color. Alright, so if I need that much, then I'm going to need about 18 of each color that I need here. And I'm going to need 10 colors. So as you know, wool comes in the following colors, and this is the order that we're going to want to get them in. So let's get that going here, and magenta. Right, and then we're going to need some light blue, some yellow. Orange is in there again. Let's resort again. Some lime green, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. The lime green here. And everything's refilling just because of spacing issues. Pink, sure, why not? Gonna need 18 of you. Gray wool. And you can mouse wheel this too, I've recently discovered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to need light gray and cyan. Well, I'm kind of liking that, being able to mouse wheel that stuff in. Cool. As long as I count the numbers right. Alright, so 18 of each should get me 3 sets, because you need 6 per set, right? And that should get me 3 sets of 12, which is 36. So that should be good. Now all I need is a ton of red alloy wiring. And then I'm going to need a bunch of bundled cabling too, aren't I? I'm going to need a lot of bundled cabling. That I'll probably need about 300 or so of. So I'm going to need like 5 stacks of bundled cabling. And my head just started spinning at the thought of that. So for bundled cabling, how much exactly do I need? Well, for bundled cable, I need 5, gets me 2. Wow, that's a lot. Do I have enough wool in this chest for that? I don't even know. I guess I might as well upgrade this chest while I'm here, because I have the resources for it. Not a big deal. That'll give plenty more room. And let's see everybody get a shave. Oh, it doesn't pulse as soon as I activate the timer? Oh well. Yeah, so I'm going to need a lot more wool for some bundled cabling, and it doesn't have an EMC value, unfortunately, so that's going to make it even extra tricky. So I'm probably going to be doing a lot of that off camera. Oh well. Why don't we get started with all the stuff we've got. I'm just burning up some of my items I don't need at the moment. Alright, I'll be back in a few when I'm ready to do this. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to make some white insulated cabling. And we're going to repeat this ad nauseum, so I'll be back in a few once I've done it all. Oh, and I'm sure I have some laying around in my bags somewhere, but I wanted to just get the exact amount I needed here. So, I know, probably have some in my bags. Don't worry, I'm aware of it. Alright, so this will be the last of the colored cabling that we're going to need. There we go. Perfect. So that's all the colored cabling we'll need. Beautiful. I'm going to go bring that into my age, and while I'm going, I might as well get myself, make sure I've got enough smooth stone. I'm going to need a lot of that stuff, and I should make sure I have on me a diamond handsaw, because I'm going to have to do a lot of cutting. Yep. Alright. I'll pop into my age of builds. And like I said, this is going to be a big one. We should be able to start going here. So let's start testing out how we want to lay out our builds. Now, the first lever is, or the first wire is going to have to go 2 in from this block. So 1, 2, and this is where the first is going to go. So in order to facilitate this, let's first put most of our wiring away. Probably don't need most of this stuff for the time being. I'll come back for it when I'm ready. Okay. For now, I just want to start cutting up some stone. So that ought to do enough. That'll probably get me 2 stacks of covers. There we go. Beautiful. And don't leave your saw laying on the ground, like I always do. Okay. So, 2 in from this block. So 1, 2 in from this block. Gets us something right about here. Now I want it to go on the bottom underneath this block, because then I can place my cabling on it. And just to demonstrate that, we'll do this. We'll just have our white cable on us. And I should be able to place my white cable like so. And then another block, and then another white cable. Block, white cable. Block, white cable. All the way to the top. Cool. Not the top, but all the way up to, where does this thing end, by the way? 2 higher than it needs to be, so 2 higher than it needs to be. So that's not too bad, actually, once you get the thing placed properly. So that'll connect into there. That should work. And now we're going to also want another cable here. This is where our bundled cabling is going to go. Just make sure you place it properly. And it's important for the first one to start underneath the block so that the wire can rest on top of it. If you start on top of the block like this, so like see how this one is at the top of the bottom block and this one is at the bottom of the top block. If you place it at the bottom of the top block, you can't place your wire on it. Okay, so that's the importance there. But by placing it on the top of the bottom block, then a wire can be placed on it. Sweet. Alright, so that is the initial layout. Now the next one over, and let's get these guys ready. And this is what's going to be tricky about this build, is placing all these panels. Not tricky per se, but just, I don't know, tedious? Because you have to line them up just right, and it's not easy to just, see, I missed. And if you miss, it's a nuisance. So tedious is probably the best word, but I'm pretty confident that this will be neat once it's done, so I'm okay with tedious at the moment. And that's when we'll grab our orange cabling. So let's get orange ready to go. Why not? Okay, and the orange cable will go into this wire. So this laser is going to be controlled by the orange cables all the way up and down. Pretty sweet. Okay, and then we should be able to go get our bundled cabling. Let's go get some of that real quick. Now I'm going to work on making a bunch of bundled cabling, like a whole lot. And I guess the best way to do that would be grab one of you and make the following. 2 of you. And of course my achievements were reset, because they always are. Now what can we use chests for? A lot of things, but I'm looking for specifically the recipe for... There it is, project table. So I need wood on the sides, cool. There we go, a pair of project tables. We'll get them set up and ready to roll right here and here. And one will be for the making of wool stuff. So let's do that. Doesn't really matter what color we use per se, but we should use all the same. How much wool do I have in here that's all the same color? Anything in particular? No, I just have one of each. Alright, let's go get some from out down there. I guess dark blue might be a good color to start with. Dark out already. Not worried about that zombie. Okay, so we'll lay this out like so. And then we should be able to make all of that stuff that we want, given that we have enough red alloy ingots. And from there, let's go into our miscellaneous junk. Pull out whatever we can so far of this stuff. So let's just grab one. Okay. And into here, we'll go a ton of string. And this is really the best way if you want to bulk create a bunch of stuff from red power. So now I should be able to just click and pull out some bundled cabling. Cool. So I'm going to get myself a bunch of string, courtesy of my old friend Equivalent Exchange. Once again, massive build requiring a ton of resources. This is the way to do it. Target the string. Sure, why not? Sounds like a good number of string. Beautiful. And you too. And I'll be back in a few once some more red alloy ingots have cooked up, and then I can start making some more bundled cabling. There we go. And just for the record, reminding you guys, 300 plus, because I need one for each laser to go behind it, and then probably a bit more to run to the different machines and whatnot, so probably like closer to like 350. Alright guys, it was long and painstaking, but I think I finally got pretty much a good number of bundled cabling here. I've got 5 stacks, which is 320, and then 28 more, so 348. Looks good to me. You can see I went through several colors of wool to get this far, and lots of red alloy ingots. I do have a few left, so that's nice, and I think we're in good shape now. So, yeah, let's head back to our Age of Builds and put away some of this stuff, because we're not going to need all of it at the moment. But this should give you a good, clear idea of the direction I'm taking this thing. So that's probably good. I should probably have a double chest here or something, just because of the amount of junk that I'm going to be storing. Like I said, lots of stuff. Don't need that green wool anymore. Alrighty, that should be good. So then the bundled cabling goes out here. Now this is going to go all the way across with all the different colors, okay, so that hopefully we can get this going. So why don't I, for the next, I I don't know, however long it takes me, start laying stuff out like so. Not there. And I'll be back in a few. See what I mean by how easy it is to do this wrong? Yeah. Back in a few. Alright, now that I have all this, you know, stuff here, let's go out like this. That should pretty much represent the edge. There we go. So I'm lined up properly. That's a good sign that I counted correctly. I can still count to 10. Yay. So once we get all this stuff in here, don't want that there. Get out of there. Then we can actually put our real colors down. Now, of course, like, you could really use any colors you wanted for this, but I'm trying to keep it, like, in a logical way. So I'm going to use, like, the colors in order. Alright, so let's go get some of those colors, shall we? Place this away. Now, I've already did the orange and the whites, and for some reason when they sort in here, they don't sort in the proper sorting color, so that's why I like to look at the wool screen. So let's go magenta, light blue, yellow. Magenta, light blue, yellow, green, pink, gray, gray. Okay, so they do sort in the right order. I think they just go by like the number of things or whatever first. So what we'll do is maybe get 10 of each. And hopefully this will work out right. So magenta first, right? So we want to go magenta straight up and down here. And what I'm hoping this does is it connects the wire as soon as, or brings me the next set of wires as soon as I finish this set, so that I don't have to go too crazy with this wiring. Probably should have done this part first before the bundle cable, but oh well. Live and learn. Hey, there we go. Light blue's next, right? Yep, light blue. So, again, one of those boring parts in the video where I'm just doing repetitive tasks over and over. But since you guys have hopefully got a basic concept of what I'm doing at this point, you should be able to figure out my next few steps. And I'll come back when they're done. How does that look? Not bad at all. Alright, next step. Now, I obviously have to do the exact same thing on the red and green side, but I'm going to do that in a little bit. For now, I want to get the next step completed so that we can really start testing this out. Alright, poking around in my red power chest here. What I want to do is combine some of this stuff. I'm guessing I'm going to need, I don't even know. That might be enough, but I'm probably going to need a little bit more of this ribbon cable. Of course, because I'm playing with red power components for computers. Cool. So we'll put our fine copper wire away. That should be good. I left all my bundle cable in my other age. Gonna need a little bit more of this stuff, so let's go borrow some. Probably gonna need more than I already have, believe it or not. But that's okay. Remember, I had some extra wiring, so let's just grab about that many. That sounds right? Yeah, that should be good, I think. Hopefully I'm doing all my math right in my head, but we'll find out. Then the other thing I'm going to need are some red doped wafers. Going to need quite a few of them, so I'll probably have to cut the camera here and start crafting them and then come back when I'm ready with them. So yeah, I don't think I have any ready to go. I've got 2. Oh, cool. Helpful. So what do we get? 8. Probably need, let's just go for broke. Half a stack of you and half a stack of coal into this guy, and I'll be back, like I said, in a few. And if you haven't guessed by the recipe I was looking up in NEI, I'm making myself an IO expander. The recipe, of course, is some ribbon cable down here, some bundled cable up there, and some wood on either side. Gets me 2 IO expanders. I'm going to go for 10 now, and then I'm going to eventually need 30 total. So, yep, still a complicated build, and we're not even close to done. Well, maybe we're kind of getting there, but, you know. And there we go. 8 more IO expanders makes a total of 10, and we'll put all this stuff back in our inventory here. Now let's go back into our age of builds and figure out how we want to lay out our IO expanders. And if my hunch is correct, I'm probably going to need a few more of these. Cool. So hopefully this will be alright for me. Let's see. I'm thinking what I need to do is probably just set it up like this. And then I can put my I/O expanders right there. See how nice they fit? You should be connecting, by the way. Why aren't you? There we go. Just a visual bug. I'll make sure to correct those visual bugs as I go along because I like to not see visual bugs. Now, come on, you should be able to sit. Oh, you can't. Aha! I can't put a cover on top of this guy. Alright, not to fear. I've got a solution. Let's do this. Give me 1 sec. How's that look? Not too shabby? Yeah, that'll work. So the I/O expanders can't have covers on them. They have to be on their own block because they're picky little guys, aren't they? Yep. So that's fine. We can deal with that. Now I could put them as far back as that and just have them, you know, right like so, right? I guess I don't need that bit at all, do I? Meh. Alright, let's get rid of it just for the sake of saving a few resources. There we go. And I'll be right back. There we go. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh yeah, I like it. Thinking though, I do want some stuff here though, because that's where my ribbon cable is going to connect up to. And that's what's going to connect to my computer eventually. So let's see how well we can get this stuff behaving. Alright, that looks good. Now ribbon cable should be able to go right there. And plug straight into this guy. Perfect. Look at that. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay, now the ribbon cable we're going to want to run over to a computer somewhere, so let's find a good spot for that. I should have some smooth stone in here just to make it look nice. Now we're definitely going to have to run some kind of blockage over to here. So this is as good a place as any to do it. Ribbon cable running along this way. Don't fall off the edge, Direwolf. Alright, that'll do. Where would I be without my Swift Wool Spring? I would not be having a good time, that's for sure. Alright, let's get our CPU and our monitor and our disk drive, and we should be cool. Alright, now you guys have seen me craft this stuff before, but I just wanted to get it in there one more time to make sure you were paying attention. Something like, oh, you know what, I need glass in the front, not wood. Durr. That makes sense, doesn't it? Maybe I'm the one who should be paying attention. There we go. Monitor's ready. The disk drive, if I remember, is one of you and one of you and something like that. I think I've got everything. I just need to double check the recipe. Oh, right, ribbon cable on the bottom. Usually ribbon cable on the bottom for a computer component. And central processing unit. Just need a block of diamond and we should be good. Klein Star, of course, will help me out with that. Bit more expensive than the redstone I was pulling out earlier, but, you know. There we go. CPU. And now I just need a 4th boot disk, which is a floppy disk and a redstone, and a blank floppy comes from wood and iron. So I just need 1 piece of iron. Shouldn't be a problem. 1 piece of iron, please. I guess what is a problem is the wood. Now I should have everything I need to get a computer running in this age, right? Hopefully. Put our red alloy ingot doped wafer thingies in there and go set up our computer to boot it up. Age of builds, let's roll. So, I might want to move things later, but for now, just for simplicity's sake, let's place our computer right here. Look at that nice and fancy thing. Maybe back here would be a nice place for our monitor to sit. So monitor, you go there. And I'm going to have my CPU sitting over here. So CPU, you sit here. And disk drive, you can sit there. That's fine. Ribbon cable, connect it all up, please. And let's try this. I want to test something. Give me a sec to think. I totally needed more ribbon cable, by the way. But I might want to just try running it around the back here. See how that looks. That should all connect. So, fourth boot disk. Let's see if everything wants to behave itself. Start her up. Now the next thing I'm going to need is my sonic screwdriver, my old buddy, my old trusty pal, the Sonic. Let's make sure this thing's working. Yay, MineOS 1.1 initialized. Now we're going to want to set up some coding here to figure out everything. So let's call blue the 10 range, okay? Remember, you want to shift click on this guy and change your dip switches here. Yes, they're called dip switches. Until you, I think they're called dip switches. Until you get what you want. So I'm going to go 10, 11, I'll get there, 12. So remember, this is 8, 13. When you actually stop to think about what you're doing, it usually works a little bit better. 14. And I'll be back in a minute. And 19. Okay, so what we've got here are the I/O expanders for the computer that go from bus ID 10 to 19. And the red ones will be 20 to 29, and the green ones will be probably 30 to 39, right? So that the same row is the same thing. So this whole top row will all be represented by the number 9. In the digit, and then the colored wires here will indicate what's up. So there's white. So if we want this guy to be white, we want a white here, a white on that side, and then a white on this side. Right? No. We want this guy to be white over here. I'll put a torch up there so I remember that. And, oh wait, yeah. So, sorry. All across the board. So there. So we want this guy to be the one that's connecting over here. So we'll probably want to have the white side of this thing be here. So that that one is the white cable and this one is the cyan cable. So I'll remember that by placing that torch there, hopefully. Hopefully. That way it's always the white cables that affect this one, right? So white there, and white cable over here. Alright, let's give everything a whirl by first, we want to turn on the bottom right. So what we want to do is 10 IOX address, exclamation after a space, maybe? And let's see what happens. Then I want to do 1 IOX set. Hey, look at that, it's working. Cool. And if I wanted to, let's real quick do the following. We probably want to figure out what the 10th power of 2 is. Alright, so cyan is represented by 512. Cool. And everything in between will turn on those lasers. Okay, so I could, of course, go to IOX set, and that turns on. Now, if I wanted to get everything on, I think 5 IOX exclamation. Then I think 1023 IOX exclamation would turn all of them on. Cool. And that should be all except the far left. Yeah. This is what learning binary in college got for me. Sweet. So yeah, 1024 is the IOX that comes after cyan, which is purple. So one short of that should be everything except or everything before it. So that is pretty cool. Now, if we want to get access to the next guy, we do 11 IOX address, exclamation, and now we're controlling the 11th position, which is that guy. And if we want all the lights on again, we do 1023 IOX. Sweet. Now, what are you doing over here being on? Huh, that's interesting. You shouldn't be on. That might be a little bit of a bug with the laser mod, maybe. Because that guy is not receiving a laser. See, like... Alright, that turns them both off. That's good. Why are you on? Huh. Laser mod bug? I can only assume as much. Alright, 12 IOX address. Ta-da! Beautiful. Ha! Look at that. How cool is that? I like it. So if we wanted to, we could do the following. Alright, let's see if I can figure this out on the first try. Honestly, first try at this. But what I want to do... You should be letting me create a new word. There we go. Needed a space. So far, so bad. I want the 1910 do 1023 IOX exclamation. No. IOX address exclamation 1023 IOX exclamation loop. Hopefully I'm not programming an infinite loop here, but what this should do is loop through numbers 10 through 19, and for each of them, set the IOX address to the current loop number, so it'll start at 10 and it'll end at 19, and output 1023 IOX for each of those, if I'm right. And then of course we need a semicolon at the end, which I'll place as soon as this line compiles into the word all blue. So let it figure all that out. Okay, so, and let's also do this. 1910 do IOX address exclamation 0 IOX exclamation loop. That should turn all the blues off. So all off is a misnomer, but I'm learning. I'll recreate that. So let's try it off. All off. Hey, look, it did it. All the lights turned off. Wow, that worked perfectly. All blue. Ha! Sweet. Now what about you up here? I guess it stops at 19, so I probably want to do 10 through 20. So let's forget all off. I think I need to do capitals. Now if I forget all blue, it should also forget all off, because it forgets all the words after what you did. Alright, so let's try this again. All blue is 2010 do I. That should work. And I'll program all off again in a moment. You know, short of not knowing that, you know, it stops at 19, I'm pretty impressed that that worked kind of the first time. I think that might be the first time I'm really doing a loop like that. All blue? Sweet. All off. Oh, yeah. Copied it a little too... literally. All off. Boom. Everything's off. Alright, I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out so far. Now, of course, I feel like this might be a pretty good wrapping up point, but let me see if I'm right. Yes, I'm sorry to say, but we've totally hit that wrapping up point. So, this is Direwolf20 signing off on episode 82. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I might just start doing what I've done here on the other parts of this room, like on the red and green side, because you don't need to see me reinvent the wheel. But I'll wait till episode 83 to start doing any more programming and testing, and I don't know, maybe I'm lying, and by the time I decide to record 83, I'll show some of what I'm doing, but it'll definitely be shorter. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed 82, and next episode we will get started using all the colors within this system, so that might be pretty neat. And then we're going to have to start defining words for each of the grid coordinates that we've got here. So we're going to need an up and down and left and right grid coordinate so that I can target individual colors and have them turned on or off and whatever color I want. So that's the part where it's going to be some complex programming within Fourth, and that's the part that I'm not sure how well I'll do with it. I mean, making the whole thing blue is nice and easy with the for loop, but, you know, doing a smiley face or something is going to be a little bit more tricky. Anyway, we'll figure that out as we go along. Like I said, not a master of Fourth. So, hope you guys are having a good time with this little build, and I'll catch y'all next time. Take it easy.